This is the bank of Carol Black sauce.
Picture the thing you want most in the universe. And decide how badly you want it.
We're actually gonna do it. Rob the bank.
If we don't, we die.
We must locate them.
What is that? I don't know. I hate not knowing.
Are you hungry, boy?
The bank is now open.
Hi everyone, TardisGuy123 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 5th episode of Series 8, and that is of course Time Heist. So, now at the start of Series 8 we made a lot of promises, whatnot, about a raw new direction and everything, and a real change, and lots of things saying it's going to be better than ever more, and the only thing, to be honest, that has lived up fully to his expectations and exceeded them, in my opinion, is Peter Capaldi. Now, he is an incredible Doctor. He really is. He's already, after 5 episodes, become my favourite from the new series. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he's older. You know, I'm not sure. That's probably not the only thing, because he just has that kind of like view on things where he's mainly focusing on keeping people alive and not mourning for the dead like a lot of other people is. He's much more unfeeling, much more directed to the point, like the top player, if you want to say anything. That was an incredible line, and if Tennant or Smith said something like that, Christopher Eccleston could have probably got away with it. But if Tennant or Smith said something like that, it just wouldn't have fitted right. But with Peter Capaldi, it absolutely works. Yeah, he is just incredible. So now then, what about this episode? Well, it's written by Stephen Thompson, who also wrote 2 previous episodes, The Curse of the Black Spot, and I've completely forgotten the other one's name. Journey to the Centre of the TARDIS, that was it. And that was an ish episode. I don't know. I haven't really watched either of them that much. I didn't want to go back and rewatch them all too much. I'm not sure if I did actually. I might have watched them a couple of times, but you know, they weren't that good episodes, I'm afraid. So he's back here with Stephen Moffat this time, so maybe Stephen will help improve it. Unfortunately, he didn't. This episode is another flop from Stephen Thompson, in my opinion. You know, I mean, the teller. Let's start with the teller. This is actually a good part about the episode, probably the best next to Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman as well. Actually, she was good in this episode. But the teller, what an incredible creation this is. I mean, look at it. It is amazing. It's a physical thing as well. They've probably done some CGI to do it up a bit, but it's a physical prop, and you can tell that, and it is really well made. The idea behind it is quite good as well, I think. But you know, there are some unfortunate aspects, like the way it attacks with its eyes going up like that. That looks a bit silly. But its effect is very good, as in the effects that it has on the victim with the head going, and that was quite creepy. Glad they used a bald man, because I'm not sure how that would have looked with CGI if he had hair. But anyway, you know, that was good. Now, unfortunately, the resolution to the teller is a lot too much like Hyde, with the second thing being found out, and you find out that it's really good. It's copying Hyde, and it isn't really the best thing to copy anyway, that part of Hyde, which is unfortunate. Sai and Sabra. Yeah, those two were good characters, I guess. I mean, it did feel a bit odd having these almost superhero-like characters in there. You know, I guess they worked. You know, here's where my problem comes in with them, and that is the fact that, you know, they appear to die in these very, very good scenes, especially Sai's. His death scene was incredible, but then it reveals that he didn't die and that he came back, and it's quite disappointing because he had that very kind of like good speech before he died, and then that was all reverted. Now, I almost expected maybe the Styles Sabra for them to appear with what's her name, Missy, but they didn't, unfortunately. And you know, that's I don't know why I'm disappointed that I'm not too big on these big plot points. We know why they didn't go back to Missy, but I thought that would have been a nice way to put it in. And we didn't get much plot in this, as in overarching plot, other than the reference to the what's her name, woman in the shop, and that's it. And other than that reference, there's nothing else there at all. And that reference isn't really that much of a contribution to the overall arc. It's just basically trying to keep that in your mind, I think. Which I guess is a good idea, because for non-hardcore fans, that would have just been a throwaway line or something that appeared in the Bells of St. John. Everyone was just going, all the fans would be going, oh my goodness, who's that woman in the shop? But casual viewers just be like, oh, maybe it's something, I don't know, maybe it's something from the past, I don't know. And they wouldn't really care about it. So I guess it's trying to keep that idea in the casual viewer's mind, because deep breath, they probably didn't remember that either. So I guess it's just trying to keep that in mind and hype it up as a fairly important thing. So yeah, there's that. So now, what else didn't I like about this episode? Well, Keeley Hawes, as I think that's Howes. I don't know how to say her name, but anyway, she was good as the villain role. I think she once again fitted into that category of Madame Bavarian, Madame Vastra as well now, even though she's not a villain, but she kind of fits into that same category, and that's unfortunate, really. So it's stereotypical writing. It's not very good of women villain. All the female villains that we've had under Moffat are all basically the same. They play the same type of villain, which is unfortunate, really. So yeah, that's a real shame. Timey-wimey again. It's not too complicated this time. It's not really the complicatedness of it that annoys me, because it isn't, but I just don't like it being here. I don't see much reason for it, other than to take away a villain from the story. Because, there's no villain to this story again. So I guess you could argue that Madame Carabraxos, or Miss Carabraxos, or whatever her name is the main villain. But, she has that guilt moment at the end and whatnot. It doesn't really make her a proper villain. And she isn't really playing the villain role, either. The, the teller isn't a proper villain. The architect is revealed to be the Doctor, so that's not a proper villain. We once again have a story without a villain. And you need villains in these stories to push them forward. That's just such a shame, to be honest. So, it's obvious that Moffat doesn't like writing for villains, because the Zygons and the Daleks were just thrown into the Day of the Doctor for the sake of it. They don't play the actual villain roles, they're just there. And, it's just so unfortunate that I'm not sure whether Moffat knows he can't write for villains, so he doesn't try. It's why I personally think that he's not going to bring back the Master. But, he can't write for villains, and he knows that, so he's not going to even try. Or, he just plain doesn't want to. And in a 45-minute episode, I can kind of understand why you need to focus on the main characters and whatnot, but, why make it 45 minutes? Up the runtime to an hour or something, just so you can get a little bit more from the villains. Mark Gatiss was able to do it brilliantly in, what's it called? I've completely forgot what it's called now. Robot of Sherwood, that was it. Don't know why that slipped my mind. With Ben Miller as the Sheriff of Nottingham. That was an incredible performance, and quite well written, I think. He was more comedy than anything else, and he was rather underdeveloped, but at least he was there as a quite decent enough villain. So why couldn't we have that in other stories as well? Russell T Davies was able to do it as well, a lot of the stories from his era. So why is it not happening here? I don't know. Maybe Moffat will turn it around someday, or maybe we're just going to have to wait until we get a new showrunner. But nevertheless, it is quite disappointing. So now, the direction, that's another thing. In the first third or so, it was very, very good, I think. I mean, you got that kind of like that very bank heisty feel with the visuals moving and whatnot, the way it's laid out, and then that's completely forgotten about, completely dropped, and it feels like he's more just pointing a camera at the actors and telling it to work. The direction is rather bland in the last third, and Paul Wilhurst, I think that's his name. I think that's how you say it. You know, he's coming back for one more story this year, Flatline, and I hope he brings what he brought to the first third of this, to that story, rather than what he brought to the last 2/3 of this. So, yeah, that's another thing that really does annoy me about this story. And the plot also, you know, it's my least favourite of the series, I'm afraid. So, with that said, let's rate it at a 4 out of 10. Now, I don't want to dislike this story. I don't come into these not wanting to like them, but, you know, unfortunately, that's what happened with this one. When I came out of it, I just didn't like it all that much. You know, every series has a dud. Hopefully this will be this one's only one. The Caretaker next week? Not sure, really. It does look a bit worrying. Sorry if you can hear a background noise of cars driving past, but anyway, going back to The Caretaker, it looks like one of those ones where I'll just have to wait and see, to be honest. Yeah, it's shaping up to be okay, I think, at the moment. Nothing exceptional. I personally am more waiting for Kill the Moon. That looks to be incredible. But anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.